The Mosin Obrez dates back to biblical times when Yahweh instructed Mosin to create the Mark of the Covenant by sawing off the tip of his right. No, no, no. That's wrong. That's wrong. Cut.
Beautiful shot.
The Mosin Obrez, or more accurately, the Mosin Oh Boy I Missed Again, is a 2-slot long ammo rifle, and like the Streisand effect, it is hard to classify. The Obrez is the sawed-off version of the Mosin-Nagant M1891. The stats on the Obrez are basically the same as the uncut version, except it does slightly less damage, has slightly worse handling, and a slightly lower muzzle velocity. Basically, it has all the same ability to sweat, but in a smaller package. It's petite, you know, it wears a cute little belt. The Mosin Obrez has a few unique offerings that set it apart from other guns in the game. First, it is the only long ammo medium slot weapon. That means you can pair it with other 2-slot weapons and still have most of the effectiveness of a long ammo rifle, in addition to whatever you combine it with. That being said, the sawed-off barrel and lack of a stock makes it a bit harder to land your shots. The sway and recoil are less forgiving than your significant other after you dust off the last sleeve of Oreos. I have no self-control. Can you still use it at range? Yes, it has an effective range of 314 meters. But don't be surprised if you find yourself missing more shots than you would with the full Mosin. The Mosin Obrez has 2 custom ammo types, Incendiary and Spitzer ammo. In niche cases, the Incendiary might help you get a kill, but the reduction in penetration is really frustrating, so I'm going to recommend you just skip that entirely. Whatever arguments you can make about burning enemies or igniting barrels just aren't worth it. For this gun, pyro equals tyro. And yes, I learned that from Beyond Good and Evil. And no, I did not absorb anything else. The Spitzer ammo is more of a subjective choice. Spitzer ammo increases the muzzle velocity to 740 meters per second and allows the bullets to penetrate multiple objects. But this comes with a few drawbacks. Spitzer increases the recoil, which is already pretty strong on the Obrez, and reduces the damage to 113. So it's tricky because you can still 2-tap hunters out to about 90-ish meters, and the increased velocity can mean that you'll land more headshots, but at $220 hunt dollars, it's probably going to be a personal preference or a financial decision. Take it if you want it, leave it if you don't. The Mosin Obrez can benefit from 3 traits: Iron Sharpshooter, Quartermaster, and Bullet Grubber. Iron Sharpshooter allows you to remain in sight between shots and shoot a bit faster. Bullet Grubber allows you to snatch unspent bullets after a partial reload the way you might catch a blown kiss from an admirer. Try not to see that from now on. However, if you hold down the reload button after you fire a bullet, you can top off your ammo that way and not have to use a partial reload or wait for empty. So if you're just starting out in Hunt Showdown, maybe take Bullet Grubber, but with practice, you don't really need it for the Mosin. And lastly, Quartermaster allows you to bring a 2-slot weapon with a 3-slot weapon. So you could pair the Obrez with a full Mosin for some reason, or a full-size shotgun, anything in the 3-slot category. This is probably one of the big selling points for the Obrez in that you have a lot of variety in the builds you can make.
He's dead.
The Mosin Obrez has 2 variants that might change up how you play. The 2 variants are the Mace and the Drum version. The Obrez Mace is the same gun with even worse handling in a shiny mace that does 90 blunt damage on a charged attack. It is, oddly enough, the only blunt melee weapon you can equip from the store, not counting tools, and it can clear a hive in 1 hit. So, if you plan to take 4 bug bombs, maybe the Obrez Mace is a good pick for you, along with therapy. If you are like me, who just brings the knife instead of dusters or the knuckle knife, you might consider taking the mace over the base version because most medium weapons you might pair it with will do less melee damage. The drum version holds all 15 rounds and means you'll have to reload less, but you might also be more or less reliant on partial reloads depending on how you play. but using the Obrez drum with iron sharpshooter is the fastest way to shoot 15 long ammo bullets. Oh right, never mind. So, if you want to keep constant pressure, maybe take the drum, but otherwise the base version is probably fast enough. So what should you take with the Mosin Obrez? There are many good options. If you are feeling chaotic, the Spectre Compact with slug ammo is a devious pick that you can learn about over on Olive Meister.
Everybody likes to root for a nuisance, and really, what is the Spectre Compact if not a massively overpriced nuisance?
Something about a rising tide sinks all ships. That's right. We are now both culpable for these poorly written Hunt Showdown videos. My pick for the Obrez is probably the hunting bow. It provides a stealthy option for clearing AI, and the custom ammo options can open up more utility for the player. There is also, of course, dual pistols. Okay Google, what is a cliche? And at last, we land on how to use the Obrez. Well, just because it is a medium weapon does not mean it has a medium lethality. Hell, I killed a guy by shooting him in the elbow. Or at least I hope it was his elbow. Hey, what was that about the Mark of the Covenant? I have found that patience is a virtue with this gun. And my controversial take, if it feels safe to do so, crouch. Yep, I know. Crouching. Wow. Big new bait. HomeReel. Who are you really gonna ambush with crouch? Ah, I see. Really, crouching with the Obrez reduces its sway just enough to pull those shots at range. Of course, don't use it all the time, but it can help in an ambush setting. If you are in a gunfight, well, it's long ammo, so you can penetrate most objects, and chest shots on wounded hunters are still lethal.
Oh, it was good.
And lastly, really think about what you pair the Obrez with. There is lots of room for experimentation here, but you should definitely choose something that is complementary, like Crytek and skins that you can't see.